Working on being quicker, faster, more explosive, and you see indications of that inside the ring as we are here for his workout here in San Diego.
Eso ahí. Y suéltale. Así, ahí. Ahí. Ahí está. Ahí está. Ahí está. Dobles ahí. Dobles. Vivo ahí. Ahí está. Y salte. Amagas ahí. Eso, dale vuelta. Eso. Ahora ya vea. Sale ya vea. Combinaciones de 5, vivo ahí. Ahí va. Ahí va. Ahí va. Camínale, güey. Dale. ¿Quieres agua? Sí, por favor.
Luke Thomas, Brian Campbell here. We're the hosts of Morning Combat. You can check us out at youtube.com/Morning Combat. But today we are here for the Canelo Alvarez workout. And as you can see, here he is with the Fanoodles, basically, with trainer Eddie Reynoso working in the ring. BC?
Luke,
it's amazing. One real quick thing, if I may, BC. It's kind of amazing that not that he's exactly working super hard, but he hasn't even broken a sweat wearing 2 shirts, jumping rope, and now practicing with trainer Eddie Reynoso. Kind of remarkable, actually.
Yeah, this is light work for the cameras. Get your pictures. Looking good, looking good. One thing, though, Luke, you always wonder if you can pull a little tidbit out of what we're seeing Canelo go to the southpaw stance in his warm-ups a little bit, something you don't typically see from him in the ring, always in that orthodox stance. He was going from southpaw, practicing his body work, switching up his footwork. Will we see that against Caleb Plant? It's hard to know. But one thing I did want to take away, I thought, was prescient from that interview with the strength and conditioning coach, is he really identified to Ray how efficient Canelo is. And, Luke, that is just such a true sign of how elite he is. When he can be the bigger puncher in these fights or the counter puncher like he was more of in his junior middleweight reign, yet his CompuBox stats and the percentages still being so high. Canelo doesn't waste punches, so he's a hard fighter to counter against because he doesn't put himself in bad positions. And I think even more, Luke, on the standpoint of not wasting punches, remember what he did against unbeaten Callum Smith to unify super middleweight titles. Smith was working behind that high guard, willing to sit on the rope slot to try to buy time. Canelo didn't have, let's say, a pure target, so he just started pounding away at the arms, ended up dislocating the left bicep of Smith during that fight, which essentially took away his hook and jab. Really just next level thinking for Canelo but really making great use of what he has. When is the last time you see Canelo out of position, off balance? It just doesn't happen.
No, it's a great point. And one thing I sort of wanted to bring up, and you can understand it in strength and conditioning terms as well as technical terms, which is, for example, we can't really tell here because he has a shirt on, but by the time fight time comes, you'll see, like, compared to his fights at 154, his muscle mass is going to be significantly greater, and there's going to be some key reasons for that. Obviously, he's up in weight. That's going to be the biggest one, but he's older. He doesn't get out of shape. I mean, look at the statement in the middle of the ring, no boxing, no life. I'm not saying he's always in camp, but he always lives a life that makes it so that he can gear up for camp quite easily. And you do that for year after year after year, and you begin to build on an existing base of athletic, essentially muscle tissue and muscular mind connection, and all of the motor patterns that he's learned. He can build on that. So by the time he gets to this stage in his career, everything, to your point, BC, very efficient. You're speaking more about boxing skills, but all of it is related. And also with boxing skills, BC, we talked about how he can do sort of all of it. He's got strengths, he's got weaknesses. He's not the perfect fighter. No fighter is. But again, if you start young and you really begin to live this life in a sort of monastic way, which at times I think Canelo Alvarez has, at each stage of your life as you get older, think of it in 5-year increments, 15 to 20, 20 to 25, and so forth, you begin to build on that skill to the point where you have this deep reservoir of things you can go to depending on the opponent. Everything is in your toolbox.
He took Triple G's Sunday punch. Luke, Triple G had knocked out 23 consecutive opponents until he went the distance with Danny Jacobs. Oh, by the way, he floored Danny Jacobs in that fight, the final fight before the 2-fight series against Canelo. So remarkable what I saw on both of those nights in Las Vegas just a few years back, what Canelo was able to do against Triple G. Whether you agree or believe he deserved the draw or the close win in the second fight, and you and I have rewatched those, Luke, and they really go either way. They're just great, classic, all-time fights. But about this narrative that comes around a lot of Canelo's the star, he'll get the benefit of the doubt on the scorecards. While that is sometimes historically true for stars and has gone Canelo's way for the most part, there's something about that efficient style, though, Luke, that brings that from the judges who do have the best point of view and can see that when he does land, there is major impact. And to all the things you've been saying, including how he doesn't show any damage, even when he is rocked. And I know Triple G rocked him in that second fight. You could see the power, and he just kept coming. It's hard as a judge to score against that when the rounds are close. It really can be.
I gotta say, this is why I like, frankly, Caleb Plant's approach. Dude, you're up against a guy who is just a force of nature and who's smart and who's in his... I mean, the deck is stacked against Caleb Plant in terms of what kind of an opponent he could be facing in virtually every way. And yet, he is not merely, once more into the breach, dear friends, kind of an attitude, but with a little bit of gusto, with this sort of nod to the detractors, the haters. Like, if you're going to go fight Canelo Alvarez, you're going to need to pack a lunch pail, for sure. But on top of that, man, you need to have a little bit of verve. You need to have a little bit of swag. You have to have a lot of belief because you're up against, frankly, maybe a generational challenge at this point who's hard to hit, hard to hurt, and packs a wallop at 168 pounds. Yeah, you better be confident.
No, absolutely. And I think you better go after it because you can ask yourself this. How does Caleb Plant win the majority of his biggest fights? Well, he's slick, but he's an aggressive, slick boxer. So it's punches and bunches and combinations, get in and out. But if you try to play, chess with Canelo, look, he's the pound-for-pound king for a reason. He's the ultimate chess master. It's probably going to be a close fight. Canelo's probably going to get the nod. Well, what if Caleb can get Canelo maybe off his game? What if he can try to do that and make it an emotional fight? That's got to be the card he's playing beyond just standing for him and believing in himself. But it's going to be interesting November 6th as we see Canelo continue to work the back.
Yeah, working on his head movement here, working on his timing, working on his trunk movement, his shoulder rolling, all kinds of stuff. Again, it looks to me like he's just kind of getting the paces in for the media here. Nothing too special or specific. Let's listen to the workout audio for a moment.
Tiempo.